You may now take your seat. Grabe pala pag ikaw na ang i-introduce na speaker. Nag-uusapan namin kanina, parang, ano ba yan? Sa obituary? Pero buti na lang ako, bago ako mamatay, narinig ko kung sino ako. Kasi maraming namamatay, pero hindi nila kilala kung sino sila. Magandang umaga sa inyo lahat. Can we give a hand for everyone? Well, I would like to first personally thank Ma'am Oni Aguinalde for actually holding our hands here in Baguio City for more than 2 years as their partner for education. I would like also to thank the chairman, Sir Jerry, kahit na Jesus yung kanyang pangalan, Sir Jerry, later he will tell me. And our president, Mr. Ray Barbosa. Also, part of the member of trustees, Ma'am Nene. Other trustees, faculty members, staff, parents, siblings, and of course, the reason why we are all here in this assembly, the graduates of 2016. Congratulations. As I was preparing my speech, I was trying to recall our guest speaker when I was seated just like you. And at the time, actually when I was writing my speech and reflecting who was our guest speaker, lo and behold, I can remember him or even her. But this gave me an inspiration right now to continue my speech, for I know time might come that you will not anymore recall my name or even my face. Matatandaan niyo kaya ako? But actually, the important thing is the story. But please allow me to give you, well, give me 15 minutes of your life today. Okay lang po ba? Yan, I know you are all excited. Are you? Okay. I know you are all excited to finish this event. For I know that some of you might have reserved some tables in a nice restaurant here in Baguio City. Or maybe may mga nag-aantay na sa mga bahay ninyo to celebrate at makikain. Or others might be worried kasi inisip nila, may trabaho kaya nag-iintay sa akin. Or paano na kaya yung mga inutang namin para maka-graduate ako dito? May pambayad kaya ako? Others, especially the parents, might be feeling relieved. Hay sa wakas, tapos na ang gastusan. Kayo naman. But whatever that is, friends, today is a day of celebration. Let's give the graduates and their parents a resounding clap. You know what? It's not easy. I know, you know, that it's not easy to go through preliminary, midterm, or final examinations, right? Saving your money, not to buy your wants, but to spend it for your project. It was a test of faith to come before the panel and defend your thesis or your feasibility studies. Alam ko mahirap, kasi napagdaanan ko din. Nandung sabaw at gravy ng Jollibee at KFC lang ang pagkain ko para makatapos ako sa pag-aaral. I survived. Buti na lang hindi ako nag-iisa. Buti na lang marami kaming gutom. Kaya kahit gutom, masaya pa rin. Today, I will share with you not my life in the university, but I will share with you my learning and discoveries in each pain, struggle, and failure that I went through after university. I graduated last 2002 with GPA of 1.63. Ganito rin ba dito? Uno rin ang pinakamataas. Okay. Sa amin, uno yung mataas. Excited ako noon. I remember it was April 26, 2002. Excited ako kasi bago pa yung graduation, may nag-iintay ng trabaho sa akin. Excited ako kasi iniisip ko, magtatrabaho ako, magkakaroon ako ng salary. Kakain na ako sa labas, ititreat ko yung family ko, bibili na ako ng sapatos, bibili ako ng laptop, at bagong cellphone. Those were the things na iniisip ko during my graduation. Hindi ko lang alam sa inyo. But actually, the year before my graduation, I had this retreat recollection. I had 1 year of talagang praying and really looking at who am I. Because since grade school, ang gusto ko talagang maging ay maging abogado. Kaya nung na-meet ko si Sir, si attorney, yun yung pangarap ko. But it changed the year before my graduation. Kasi at the time, I was also part of the church, Youth for Christ, and I was the leader of Youth for Christ in Manila. And I was also heading a group of volunteers who visit regularly prisons in Metro Manila. Pero at the time, magkasama yung bata at matanda na nakakulong. And there was one boy, ang pangalan niya Edwin, who was crying. And I was shocked kasi first time ko nakapunta ng kulungan at may batang umiiyak sa harap ko. At sinabi niya sa akin, "Kuya, ilabas mo ako dito kasi nire-rape ako." Those were the words of that boy. And I was worried, I was afraid, I didn't know what to do. I was just 18 years old at that time. Hindi ko alam kung anong gagawin. So, well, we help and support the movement, and eventually, nahiwalay na yung bata, yung mga adults and minors. Pero nagpatuloy pa rin kami. We volunteered every Saturday, and we went to the prisons of the kids. Well, hindi prison tawag nila. Sabi nila, home. Pero when we went there, it was not home. Kasi lahat nakarehas. It wasn't home kasi yung mga kama nila, katulad ng kama sa preso. It wasn't home kasi lahat ng bata may tattoo. It wasn't home kasi lahat ng bata ay parang mga taga-preso. So we continued. And on that day, I met a priest. And sabi niya sa akin, alam mo RC, punta kayo ng punta dito para tulungan yung mga nakakulong. Why not go to the community kung saan nakatira yung mga bata instead of pupuntahan mo sila dito, nakakulong na. Those were the words he left. And it struck me. Ika nga, binuhay niya yung katawang lupa ko. I was heading home, I kept on thinking his words, and it made sense. Tama eh. Kung gusto ko talagang makatulong sa kanila, I need to go to the source. I need to go to their home and look what's their condition. So I graduated, and actually I got my job. I got my first salary, pero my heart was empty. And then it was November of 2002. I graduated April, and November of 2002, I was really praying and praying and praying. And in my prayer, the Lord told me, go. Actually kanina, kinalabutan ako, kasi di ba sabi, here I am, Lord. Actually kanina gusto ko umiyak. Hindi ko alam kung alam ninyo, That was the music. It was really echoing my ears, my mind and my heart, when I asked the Lord, Lord, where do you want me to go after my graduation? And the answer was, go to their community. It was not easy. It was very difficult kasi maraming pangarap ako at ang parents ko sa pamilya namin. So I called the priest and sabi niya, RC, you have to go to Payatas. So November of 2002, I went to Payatas. Alam niyo ba yung Payatas? Tambakan niya ng basura sobrang taas. In which in 2000, it buried 100 families because there was an avalanche at 3 a.m. and it buried 100 families sleeping. Pumunta ako doon, it was raining and raining hard. Natatanda ko yung sapatos ko, basang-basa. Kasi it was flooded. Punong-puno ng basura hanggang tuhod ko, and punong-puno rin ng tubig yung sapatos ko. Imagine. But when I reached the youth center, there were about 20 youth who were waiting for me. Smoking, yung iba nakabandana, yung iba kulay kalawang ang buhok. But everyone was staring at me. I was a bit nervous, afraid. Kasi hindi ko alam kung anong gusto nang gawin sa akin. But the priest introduced me to them. And nagkwentuhan lang kami. And I listened intently, I heard their stories, and it moved me. Since that day, lalo akong napadasal, and I asked the Lord, Lord, what do you really want me to do? And then, habang tumatagal, I got an answer. Sabi niya, do not just go, do not just visit them, but you have to live with them. It was a tall order, right? It's not easy to leave my family and live in the garbage dump site. Sino bang magulang ang may gusto na pinag-aral niya yung anak niya for 4 years, having an award, honors, and being represented the country in different aspects, and then after 4 years, sasabihin niya sa magulang niya, Nay, tay, gusto kong maging basurero. Meron po ba? Wala, no? But then, I told my dream, my prayer, and what the Lord wanted me to do, and then we finally agreed. I left my job, I left my home, and became a scavenger, basurero. I studied political economy for 4 years, and then became a basurero after graduation. I never thought it was too difficult. But of course, I knew it was not easy. Kala ko kaya ko, but it wasn't. On my first year, on my first week, I was hospitalized kasi nagkaroon ako ng amoebiasis. I was drinking their water coming from the well and eating pagpag and bocha every day. Doon ko nga na-realize, sabi kasi bago nung nag-aaral ako sa university, ang pagkain daw ng mahirap, chichi, galunggong. But when I was in Payatas, chichi was so expensive. The cheapest food was really pancit canton. Lucky me. Talagang lucky me. Dahil may kinakain ako. Pero, the special thing is the bocha and the pagpag. Those were our food. Siyempre, na-hospital ako, amoebiasis. After that, bumalik pa rin ako sa kanila. You know what happened after that? I was again hospitalized, but now for a week. I was brought to ICU, intensive care unit. Anong nangyari sa akin? Na-stroke ako. Hindi nyo lang halata, pero the left part of my body stopped. I was bedridden for a week. Hindi na ako nakakapagsalita. Hindi na ako nakakapaglakad. Hindi na ako nakakagalaw. The only thing that was working at that time was my eyes and my brain. And it was a humbling experience. Seeing people na binibisita ka every day, praying for you, crying, and telling na kaya mo yan, pero you cannot speak. You cannot move. You cannot tell them how thankful you are because they are there. But I was humble. Kasi for the longest time, the Lord gave me a vacation na talagang bakasyon. Hindi ako nakakagalaw at hindi ako nakakapagsalita. But after a week, gumalaw na ako. Kitang-kita yan naman, mukha akong hindi na-stroke. Na-stroke ako at the age of 21. So, nirehabilitate ako, syempre nag-physical examination and lahat, lakad, hanggang nung nakalakad na ulit ako, anong nangyari sa akin? I went back to Payatas and lived with the scavengers. It was not difficult, it was not easy for my parents to have a child na matigas ang ulo. It was not easy for a parent who worked so hard and ang gusto lang na mangyari ng anak niya maging basurero. It was also not easy for me as their child to see my parents crying in pain because they thought na yung pangarap nila ay wala na. Again, I went back, I mingled with them, and I discovered a lot of things. I discovered that some of the things that I valued were not valuable at all. Yung tipong pinakaiingatan mo yung damit mo. Yung damit mong Guess, diba? Hindi lang bench, pero Guess. Yung sapatos mo na Nike. Tapos, kung pumunta ka sa Payatas, hindi nila alam kung ano ang Guess at Nike. Ang alam nila, damit at sapatos yun, period. Yung Adidas, hindi nila alam na ilan ang guhit ng Adidas. Basta ang importante sa kanila, may sapatos. At dapat yung sapatos, may kapares. I realize how we make simple things complicated. I realize na yung mga pangarap kong bilhin, na brand ng damit, jeans, sapatos, yung tipong pinagpaguran mo, trabahuhin ng isang buwan para makabili ka lang ng lakos. Tapos kung bumalik ka sa kanila, sabi nila, Kuya, ang pangit-pangit naman yan. Ba't naglagay ka ng buhaya sa tiktik mo? Kurag ka ba? And you know what? I was really humbled. I was humbled the way they see life. Ako, ang concern ko, anong brand ng damit at susuotin? Sila, ang concern nila, may damit ba ako na susuotin? Whether malinis yan o marumi. Ako, may sapatos pa akong bago. Sila, whether magkapares yan or hindi magkapares, basta ang mahalaga may kapares. Well, I was too focused on my wants. I discovered that there were people whose concern is whether or not they have clean food to eat on that day. And you know what? It shifted my perspective. There was also time in Payatas that I was crying and questioning my stay in the place. Marami akong mga emo moments sa Payatas. One time, umiiyak ako, hawak ko yung transcript of records ko. Mahal na mahal ko yung transcript of records ko. Kasi pag tinignan ko, puro uno. And I was crying kasi feeling ko, ang dami ko nang ginawa pero wala pa rin nangyayari sa Payatas. The Payatas that I used to see is the same Payatas that I'm living. Walang nangyayari. And then, inawakan ko siya, umiiyak ako, emo moments. Oh Lord, Diyos ko nung nasa college ako, hirap na hirap ako para na magkauno. Hindi ako nangopya. Buong buhay ko nilagay ko sa project ko. Hindi na ako kumain ng masasarap, gravy lang ng KFC, sold na ako. Para ng lahat ng pera ko mapunta sa thesis. Tapos ito mangyayari sa akin. I was also questioning, siguro yung mga kaibigan ko, nasa matataas na yung posisyon, nasa magagandang kumpanya, tapos ako, and then, someone knocked at my door. So may kumatok. Sabi, Kuya, pinapasok ko. Sabi niya sa akin, Kuya, ba't umiyak? Kinuha niya yung papel na hawak ko kasi kala niya kung ano. Tapos sabi niya, Kuya, okay lang yan kung puro bagsak yung grades mo. Ang bababa pa na nung college ka, puro 1. Sabi niya, pabayaan mo kuya, ako lang naman ang nakakaanak, wala nang iba. Tapos, pero this one struck me. Sabi niya, ano naman kung mababa yung grades mo? Ang mahalaga, pinuntahan mo kami. Ang mahalaga, ginala mo yung buhay namin. Ang mahalaga, tinutulungan mo kami. Sabi niya, kuya, ang daming pumapasya dito sa Payatas. Mukhang mayayaman, ang pumuti. Mukhang matatalino, Ingles ng Ingles. Pero pagkatapos ng isang araw na nagbigay sila sa amin, wala na sila. Isang araw lang sila nagpapakita sa amin. Aamuin naman namin yung grades nila. Then he left immediately. I was in awe. A dropout student, a scavenger, broke my belief in numbers, in grades. Again, I was humbled to hold on to the belief that my grades are me. Na pag mataas ang grades ko, magaling ako. Na pag mataas ang grades ko, valuable ako. Na pag mataas ang grades ko, super galing ko. That I am defined by numbers. There I learned that numbers are just numbers. It does not define who we are. It should not make the future that we want for our lives, for our families, and for our communities, and for our country. I learned that we exist not to be the product of the matter, but to be the cause of the matter. We are not the result of others, but we will cause others. That opened my mind to a lot of possibilities in Payatas. I became fully present with youth and saw their needs. Witnessing high school students who cannot read, or can read but cannot comprehend what they're reading. I met high school students, fourth-year high school students, who cannot solve mathematical problems, who cannot add a 4-digit numbers. This moved me to action. I learned that complaining does not stop the time. Complaining doesn't make a difference. Complaining doesn't solve the problem. Instead, it just eats a lot of my energy and eats a lot of time. So I redirected it to being proactive. I called my friends and told them the story of peace. And they came and helped me. We were able to send 21 students to college. And you know what? After 4 years, in 2006, 11 of them graduated. At kasama doon, si Roma. Alam mo, si Roma, kahit siguro 80 years old ako, 90 years old, hindi ko makakalimutan. Kahit ngayon nakaharap ko kayo, nakikita ko pa rin yung mukha niya. When I asked her, Roma, anong pangarap mo? At sinabi niya sa akin, kitang-kita ng mga mata ko, nakatingin siya sa akin, sabi niya sa akin, Kuya, ang pangarap ko maging katulong. I was shocked. A 16-year-old girl dreaming to be a housemaid. But when I asked her about why, at sinabi ni Ma'am Oni kanina, I was humbled because that girl doesn't dream to be a housemaid but rather to live a simple life that we cannot give to these people. A simple life, a girl who dreamt to eat food at hindi pagpag. A girl who dreamt to sleep at the middle of the night. Hindi yung hahawakan niya yung yero ng bahay nila kasi pagkatangayin ng bagyo. A girl who dreamt to sleep on a sofa kasi natutulog sila sa karton at pag umulan hindi sila makatulog kasi basa ang karton. Friends, these were the 3 things that moved me, not just to tears, but also to continue in making an impact in the lives of others. That inspired me to create a non-profit organization called Silid-Aralan. our mission is to educate and empower underprivileged and low-performing students. Ang tinutulungan namin, hindi yung mga batang 90s. Pero tinutulungan namin yung mga bata na ang grade ay 70, 75, 76, 77, yung bagsak. Why? Because we believe that everyone is intelligent. We believe that everyone deserves a great life. We believe that we cannot be defined by numbers, and because of those numbers, our future is already defined. We cannot accept that. That's why we are here to tell to you and to other people across the globe na walang taong bobo. And we are all here to make that happen. In fact, I know that there are graduates here who volunteered with us and to choose to make an impact kahit estudyante pa lang sila. Palakpakan natin, andito sila. As of today, we've unleashed the lives of more than 4,000 students across the country. I'm not saying this, okay mga magulang takot na, that after this, you have to live in the garbage dump site here in Baguio City or visit me in Payatas. Hindi na ako nakatira doon. And be a scavenger after this graduation. No, that is not my point, and that is not my intention. Where you are right now is perfect, whole, and complete. Pursue your dream. Whatever your career would be after this commencement, only matters when it improves the lives, not just of yourself, not just of your family, but also the people around you, your community, and your country. This is not being extraordinary student or being an extraordinary person with special ability like the mutant of X-Men. It is about you being an ordinary person doing extraordinary things. Think of how you, as a hotel manager, receptionist, business owner, teacher, or even principal, could serve our country. What do our fellow men need that your talents, skills, and competencies can provide? I am telling you this from experience, that the effect you have on others is the most valuable gift there is. It's not about your diploma, it's not about your grades, it is not about the medal, it is not about your salary, it is not about your position, but the impact that you will create to the lives of others. You can fail at what you don't want, so you might as well take a chance on doing what you love. Imagine if each of us here, yung gumraduate from yesterday until now, will create or make an impact to at least 10 people. Bawat isa. So how many graduates you have? 1,500. So you know what? In the next 5 years, we will be impacting more than half of the population of this country. And this is my dream. I dream that in this university, University of the Cordilleras, in this batch of 2016, is where great leaders and change makers of our country will emerge and will make a mark in our lives and the lives of our children and grandchildren. Mabuhay ang batch 2016, mabuhay ang University of the Cordilleras, at mabuhay tayong lahat.